This review is made possible by Toyota of Naperville. Toyota of Naperville is the largest Toyota dealer in Illinois with hundreds of new and used vehicles in their inventory. Visit www.toyotaofnaperville.com or in person at 1488 West Ogden Avenue in Naperville, Illinois.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2014 Mazda 5 Sport. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline 4 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, I'm super excited to be driving the Mazda 5 for a couple different reasons. First of all, it is my own personal goal to drive and review every single Mazda ever made, so that's why my butt is in the seat of a Mazda 5. The second reason is that I just think it's kind of neat and kind of cool, and this is the last minivan that Mazda made. Mazda discontinued the Mazda 5 in 2015, 1 year after this particular car's build date, and they don't make any minivans anymore. After they canceled the Mazda 5, they switched over to making the CX-5 and the CX-9, as well as the CX-3 and now even the CX-30. They've jumped on the SUV bandwagon, but no more minivans. This is the last of an era, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's get back to that 2.5 liter inline 4. Well, it makes 157 horsepower and 163 foot-pounds of torque. You really feel that torque while driving. We'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of miles per gallon, 22 city, 28 highway, it's not the best. My current all-wheel drive car gets better than that, so it's not great. However, it is a minivan. Minivans never were really praised for their fuel economy. But that torque that I mentioned earlier, you really feel it just getting on it. This little Mazda 5, it wants to go. Like, it doesn't feel sluggish. It feels like a Mazda product, and Mazda products always feel pretty light on their feet, all things considered. Even our modern 2018 Mazda CX-5 we have at home, it's a big SUV. It handles really well. It's very nimble, and it feels ready to go. And so we're out here on the test track. Things are warmed up. All right, I don't believe I have any sort of sport mode. I'll let it shift itself, although I can plus minus if I want. Here we go. We'll see if we can squeal a little bit of tire in the Mazda 5. Squeal a lot of tire. This thing isn't fast. I think that was 35 miles an hour. However, it's kind of fun to drive. I'm not gonna lie. It feels pretty rigid. Feels pretty solid coming into a corner like right here. Of course, body roll. It's a minivan, but it feels good to drive. It really does. It drives pretty similarly to a Honda Fit. I recently reviewed a 2012 Honda Fit, pretty much like that, and this is a lot larger. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed automatic transmission. However, you could get a Mazda 5 with a 6-speed manual transmission. That's right, you could get a minivan from Mazda in 2014 and 15, and even earlier than that, with a manual transmission. If I ever find one of those, boy, you know I'm about to drive one of those. Whew! Also, speaking of that 6-speed manual, somewhere out there, walking this very earth that you see, there is a Mazda speed swapped Mazda 5. And what that means is it is the engine, transmission, and differential out of a Mazda Speed 3, the turbocharged 2.3 liter. Someone shoved that into a Mazda 5. I don't know where it is currently. That is cool. But getting past all of that, let's talk about the interior. Pretty standard Mazda stuff in here, but we'll go through it anyway. In front of me, I have two main gauge pods. On the left is my tachometer, and on the right is my speedometer, and then I have a little fuel and trip odometer down in the center. Of course, those are the orange lights that Mazda was obsessed with in the 2000s. They reign true here in the Mazda 5 for 2014 as well. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my volume control and skip track buttons. They've seen a little bit of wear and tear here. 6-year-old, I would expect a little bit better out of a car. However, build quality for Mazda didn't really get good till 2015-16, so I can't really knock it too hard for that. On the right, I do have my cruise control options. To the left of me, I have my traction control off, and then a just platoon of dead switches because this is the Sport. The Sport was the lower trim model. So So this isn't the Grand Touring or anything like that. So of course I don't get those nice buttons. On the door I have my power locks, power mirrors, power windows. Nothing really too crazy there. Up in the center, I do get a little information readout telling me the time, outside temperature, my air conditioning and heating controls, where the temperature is being sent, things like that. And then I have 2 vents and my hazard switch in the middle and my radio. Now this is the factory radio. It's not great. This is before the era of screens. I mean, literally right before the era of screens. Now every single car has this big old touch screen in the middle. This is just buttons. I do have a CD player, of course. My favorites, Sirius, USB, and aux, CD, AM, FM, things like that. And I do have my volume and scroll wheels down below that. Very, very basic. I wish that it had a little bit of an updated, even a tiny, tiny little screen, something of the sort, something a little bit more modern, because now, even 6 years later, this feels incredibly, incredibly dated. Down below that, I do have my climate control options. Again, very basic, no dual zone. I already do have fan controls, where to send it, rear defroster, circulate, recirculate, AC, you're basic. Then I do have the shifter. This is the same shifter out of every other Mazda, pretty much. I like it. It feels good in my hand. It has this sort of fake leather plastic shift knob. I can plus minus it if that's something I want to do. Then down below, I do have a 12-volt, 120-watt outlet, and then that's where my USB and aux inputs are, which is very, very nice. That's very minivan-y. The center console is very low. I have 2 cup holders down there. Of course, on a road trip, I'm going to stack those, full of 2 big gulps from 7-Eleven, things like that. Then I do have a little cubby hole. This isn't really like a center console. It's just literally a place to put things. Seats are decent. They're a little bit hard. However, they're comfortable. I don't really mind them. I wouldn't really think twice about them. But speaking of seats, we have 2 more rows of seats. So let's do some backseat reviews. All right, so we're in the second row of the 2014 Mazda 5. These seats are a little bit hard. I'm sort of, sitting upright. I guess I could lean it back a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. Still not great. I mean, these seats are very, very cheap seats. I do have 2 air conditioning vents back here, which is nice for the second row. Headroom is great. I mean, I can fit my full fist above my head and some. I'm 5'11". That's not too bad. Honestly, back here, it's to be expected out of mid-20-teens Mazda. It's not super amazing. It's not bad, though. Now, we will hop into the third row and see how bad that gets. Right, so I don't fully fit back here. If you have kids, they'll fit fine, but I am no longer a child. At least that's what my pediatrician said when she kicked me out. But I do have 2 cup holders back here. That's about it. I mean, it has a third row, and it has seat belts back here for the third row. It's not that good. It's still pretty small of a chassis. If you look at the Mazda 5, it's not that big. It's a lot smaller than other minivans. So, of course, the third row is going to suffer from that. Yeah, I can't even try to swing my legs in here. But we will go take a look at the rear hatch real quick, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, we're around the back of the Mazda 5. Little button right here. Not great, not amazing, because these seats are here, of course. Although I do have a 12-volt outlet. That's something that's missing from more modern, lower trim Mazdas. I wish the CX-30 had that, but it doesn't. Floor mats, of course, this is a used car, so of course they're back here. Pull this string, and these seats do go down. So you see this little string here, kind of pull that. It feels like you're pulling on like a rubber band or something. And then these fold flat. So then, now you have tons and tons of space. I mean, this is really, really nice. You have a decent second row and now tons of cargo space. So I would honestly, if I didn't need the rear seats, I'd leave them down like that pretty much all the time. No power tailgate, just a little handle up here. Oh, doesn't want it. I'm not strong enough, I guess. Actually, before we hop back up front, just a little showing of the doors. They are not power, so just pull, slide. There we go. Pretty decent size opening. But, like I said, not power, just like that. Now we have to talk about the looks. This is Mazda's sort of smiley face styling era that they've moved away from, thank God. It's pretty happy. I mean, it looks pretty happy. It looks almost sinisterly happy in the front. But overall, you know, the back end of it, I actually think it looks pretty nice. And honestly, if you got the Grand Touring, you got a lot nicer wheels. They almost look like RX-8 wheels. I like the look of those wheels a lot better than these, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Of course, that's just a rim. You could probably pick them up for like $50 now on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. So I'm driving around. Apparently someone else likes Mazda 5s as well. You bought 2 of them! But getting towards the end of the review here for the Mazda 5, this is the end of an era, like I said. 2015, they canceled the Mazda 5, at least here in the States. They got rid of it because no one really wants minivans all that much anymore. We're all so crazy. We're so happy to have SUVs. Everyone wants an SUV. Every auto manufacturer is making 10, 12, 16, 32 SUVs of all different shapes, sizes, colors, creeds. It's so much. The SUV craze is still in full bore right now in 2020. And this was the end of the minivan era. I'd say, honestly, 2008 was sort of the decline of the minivan, and it really sort of budded out, you know, in 2015-16. Yes, you can still get a Honda Odyssey and a Toyota Sienna and a Kia Sedona, but I guess there's the Pacific. No one really cares anymore. No one really cares. But after driving this is a legitimately fun to drive minivan. Like, I'm actually enjoying it. Like, no BS. It's actually fun. I'm having a good time, and driving a minivan with all that cargo space, having to carry a family, having to carry, you know, multiple people, I mean, it doesn't get much better. And plus, you could get one of these with a 6-speed manual transmission. How cool is that? That's so cool. If I ever find one, or if anyone has a Mazda 5 with a 6-speed manual, please let me know. I will drive to you wherever you are, and I will come review it, because that just must be so fun. I'm having fun in this. Yes, it has body roll, but I'm putting it into a corner, and it's not understeering that bad. Yeah! Mazda 5. Mazda 5, the official car of my Mazda Speed Miata's down, and I still have a family I forgot about. I like this thing a lot. It's fun. I'm having fun in a minivan. What is my life? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their Mazda 5. They actually had another Mazda 5 on the lot, and I was looking to do a comparison between 08 and a 14, but the 08 actually sold almost immediately, so people still want these cars, which is very interesting. Toyota of Naperville has tons and tons of vehicles on the lot at all times. This is just one of them, but they have so many other cool and interesting vehicles. Please go give them a look. Their information is up on the screen, as well as linked in the description below. They're absolutely awesome. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.